is going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Talking Elite Fitness. I'm Sean Woodland with Lauren Khalil. Lauren, how are you?
I am fantastic.
Tremendous. Tommy, how are you?
I'm good. Getting close to games time.
It is. It is right around the corner. We have a jam-packed show today, so we're going to just jump right into stuff. We have Adrian Bosman is going to join us in our next segment, and then after that, we're going to have two-time Affiliate Cup champ Andrea Nisler on the show to help us go through a buy or sell version for the teams as we preview that competition. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So a lot to take care of today, but as always, we will start with our headlines. And first up, since this is going to be sort of a team-centric episode, we want to start with some team news. And we have some information about some of the events that, well, at least two of the events that the teams will be facing. The first, we will start with this one, Team Event 6. The Farrington 5 is a 5x400-meter relay. And some astute commenters, some people on social media, what do I want to do there? Let's do that. Said, well, wait a minute, there's only 4 people on a team. So how do you have a 5x400? And there's a picture in the post, if you're watching this, of Big Bob. So this could be something where they got to push Bob, then they all got to run, then they push Bob, then they got to run, something like that. Or one person runs, then they push, and it's a relay like that. And like the final part is like a team. A team runs a 400 together.
Yeah,
that could be what we're looking at here.
It could be like, you push Bob 100 meters down. One person runs a full lap. Push Bob 100 meters so everybody runs a full lap, and by the time you're done, you've also pushed Bob 400 meters as a team, right? So that's the fifth one.
Be, yeah. But clearly going to be in the stadium, I'm guessing. I don't know where they can do this at Dickies Arena.
No.
Yeah, because this is event 6 for them.
So most likely going to be outdoors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense. You'd have a sled on grass. So that's the first thing that we know about the teams. And the next was that picture of the massive paddleboard that Adrian Bosman posted on his personal account that has gotten shared as well. That looks like it's going to be team event 1. I mean, this thing is gigantic. Like it has a you could land a plane on this. Like it's going to need some sort of clearance in order to make it probably out into the lake there in Texas. But it looks like it's going to fit 4 people on it. Don't know what the details of the event are. Right, you can fit 4 people.
You can lay down. One athlete can be tanning while the rest paddle.
That's probably true.
That's where your head goes.
And we have so in the past we had the rescue thing that was in California. That was in Carson where they had the swim event. This is when they had teams of 6. And they had all hang on to that rescue sled when they were in the water. And that's the only other time that we've had any sort of waterborne implement for the teams, correct, Tommy?
I think there may have been one other, but I'd have
We've done paddleboards for individuals. We've done kayaks for individuals. We've done I know we did the litter for teams in Murph.
Yep.
But I don't think they've ever had anything like this. But
yeah, just double checking. I think you may. Yeah, they had kayaks for teams as well.
Let me see if I can get a picture of this thing. But it is ginormous.
The teams did a team swim paddle in 2019.
Okay.
I believe it was Saturday or Sunday. Let me find it.
Did they have a group paddle? Was it
they grabbed paddle boards? I think it might have been individual.
That's right. So this is only the second time where we've had like one thing that is designed to accommodate the entire team.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we know so far about the team competition. So interesting stuff. Like not surprising to see Big Bob make a return, and not surprising that they're always just sort of like some connective tissue between the individual and the team competition. So the individuals are going to do something in the lake. Teams are going to do something in the lake. Although the individuals, they don't have a paddleboard, the teams will. Okay, so that's really all that's been revealed about the team competition. Now we did have last week we had individual event 6 announced, and that is the field sprint. Then you rest, and then you run 1,600 meters. So I'll call that up for people who maybe haven't seen that post. But this is what it looked like. And that was announced actually like while we were on with our patrons on our Q&A on Friday. So we got a chance to have like an initial reaction to that, which I will admit, my initial reaction was not positive for a multitude of reasons, but I have since sort of backed off of that. Because this is at the time was all the information we had. It just looked like they're going to sprint the field and they're going to run 1,600 meters. Well, after that, Dave Castro then put a picture of this implement, the Happy Star by Rogue Fitness, which is like a sandbag shaped like a star. Now, some people noticed, again, astute studiers of Instagram saw like 170 pounds written on that thing. It's up on the top of the blue if you look at both. And Dave on his Q&A, his weekly or weekend review said, well, that's not the weight. He has no idea what that means. But now this isn't.
Well, it was inspired by Carl's Jr.'s chicken nuggets.
Well, I mean, it looks exactly
that is my favorite part of the story. And then Dave talking to Bill and Katie to try to get a sandbag that looks like that.
Yeah,
of course. Yeah, his kids having a couple chicken tendies or chicken nuggies, and I mean, outside of novelty, let's be honest. You know, they could have the star tenders from Hardee's, Carl's Jr. like the third best fast food nugget. So we probably could have.
Yeah.
It's for shape only, not just function.
Yeah.
But we don't know how this thing is going to be utilized during that Friday Night Lights event, whether it's on the sprint, whether it's on the run, like what it is.
You felt like this should have been included first.
I think this should have been first because
this definitely should have been the leak first.
For event 6. But then again, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, the more I think about it, the more maybe it was done the right way, because I feel like this added a little bit of intrigue. Whereas if you put this out, then you put the sprint out, maybe that's a little anticlimactic. I don't know. My initial reaction when that event came out was, okay, you're Friday night under the lights in a stadium on ESPN during the Olympics. And all you're going to show in that 2 hours looks like it's going to be running. That was before this came out. I still sort of feel that way. I think when you're on ESPN, it is a golden opportunity to really show people what CrossFit truly is, get CrossFit messaging across. And this is probably me being so involved with that process when we were putting the ESPN shows together, and how people like Justin Berg and Dave were very much like, hey, these are the messages that we want to get out there. This is what we want to tell people, because at the end of the day, we were trying to drive people into affiliates.
Yeah.
And you're trying to amplify the sport.
And I thought that if they did a repeat event, like if they did the track triplet from 2012, there's so many built-in storytelling elements that you could do. You could show the fact that this sport has been around for a good amount of time. And one of the tenets of CrossFit is observable, measurable, and repeatable. So we're going to compare to times that we had back in 2012. And Bo, just as a side here, Tommy knew that Daniel Tominski won that, but we all forgot that we had dumbbell snatches in 2021 in the hat trick event. So go figure.
Yeah. Which means I've lost a bet regardless, but I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty confident that you two will be joining me in the losers corner.
I don't know about that. I think bench press is going to show up. But I just thought that was a missed opportunity. Now they have 3 other opportunities on ESPN to do that type of stuff. But to me, it was just like, why are we just showing running in prime time on national television up against the Olympics when we could really be showing more of what CrossFit truly is? Now, maybe the bag will add to that, and there's some other things that will be added to the event that will do that. And like I said, I sort of have backed off that ledge just because I understood that, okay, there's 3 more. We only know what, 3 events at the most, or 2 events, I guess. So there's still a lot of this that needs to play out. So it's really not fair to make that complete of a judgment yet. But this is the implement we're going to be using, and it'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that we're adding a little bit of Texas flair to our equipment.
For sure.
I'm curious to see how it's used, but
Tommy, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, this feels like it's a cool piece. The first year in Madison, we had the cheese curd
Yep.
And the first year in Fort Worth, we have the Happy Star, which is also the name of a workout that he did in the 2020 games.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
which was thrusters and burpees over a
Yeah,
barrier.
and it was called the Happy Star because of the way that the course ran. It made a star.
Yep.
Nobody was actually happy doing it.
Yeah.
That was a terrible workout.
Twist of irony. So, yeah, I mean, it's cool, but if it's as simple as like we're sprinting with the bag,
I don't think it is.
Yeah. What else are they going to add out there? Because now remember, I'm assuming the teams are going to go before them.
Okay.
So you have the bobs and all that stuff out there. So it's not like you're going to have a ton of time to shuttle a bunch of equipment on and off the field. I don't know if they're going to build a rig out there. I doubt it. So what more can you do?
I don't want
at the stadium. It's not like this is a venue that they're using more than once.
It could be some sort of obstacle course, but then again, you would have to tear it down for teams. Whatever you do, if the teams are using the bob on that relay, then you have to make sure that area is clear for them, or the teams go first and they set up afterwards. But even then, you're playing with windows, so it's tough.
Yeah. I don't think this is going to be anything too complicated, just because of the time frame that they're in. They have a 2-hour ESPN window. I would bet that you don't want to leave or end that broadcast without knowing who won an event or where we stand going into the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't, like, if you're going to run 1,600 meters on the track, men and women going separately, 40 athletes, that's quite a few heats, unless you're going to have a mass start.
So I wonder, how much flexibility do they have to save the final heats to go back to back for a broadcast window?
Yeah, they should be doing that.
Yeah.
Because if they were to do that, that gives a lot more flexibility for that window, because then you don't necessarily need to broadcast the earlier heats during that 2-hour window.
No,
not to say that this is what they plan to do, but in theory, if they were to do that, it gives them
on YouTube.
Right. Everybody else, yeah.
So there's a logistical thing of like talent and what they'll be doing at that time. That's the other puzzle you got to figure out, because they can't be in two places at once. You can't be going to break and calling action at the same time.
Yeah.
And with ESPN windows, you got to be hitting certain breaks, and there's probably going to be a look back at action that's like, it's not going to be all, I'm guessing it will be mostly live, because I think that's what they want to accomplish, is mostly during those windows have live competition. But at the same time, you do need to do some reviewing of the day end of the competition to let people know, hey, here's why we're here. Here's what we've done so far. And here's where we stand. It'll just be really, and like, what does that look like? So how many heats are you going to run? And that's why I don't think this is going to be something that is super involved, just because of the time frame you're working under here.
What is that in your protein shaker? Is that paint thinner?
It's what
it like. Oh, maybe the way like it's stuck.
Almond milk and a scoop and a half of some protein.
The way it's stuck to the glass, it looked like, when they want to fake like milk is in the glass, they just put white paint in it.
All right.
Sorry.
Sorry to distract you. I got to get the gains in.
Yeah. Okay. Well, get the gains in, and we will continue to speculate on what that individual thing is going to be. But that's all we know, really. We have details on 2 teams, and kind of, I guess it's 2 or 3 individual events if you count the sprint, which I don't know if they're going to be scored separately. I'm guessing they will be sprint.
Yeah. And the I don't know. I hope it's cool, because typically, like, the biggest spectacle event has always been like Saturday night,
Mm-hmm.
But I think with the messaging of Friday and Friday Night Lights and being your one shot outdoors, new implement like this, I don't know, Friday night could be something that I feel like is an opportunity to take advantage of.
Agreed. But remember, they still have 3 other ESPN windows. That's 6 hours of competition that they have remaining. So, but I'm with you. Like, when I first heard it, I went, really, on the event you're going to do outdoors. And this is before I knew about the sandbag, obviously. I think that makes things a little more interesting. But we'll see what they're going to do. It'll just be, I think you have to maximize the amount of time, like you really have to take advantage of the time when you're on national television to drive home what the sport is,
Absolutely.
what the history is, what the core tenets of CrossFit are, why you should go to an affiliate if you're not someone who already does. And that's hard to do in 2 hours. It's hard to do, but the event itself can help you do that. And that's why I thought maybe this would be a repeat of what they did in 2012 at the track, because there's so much history there that you can talk about.
Yeah, in years past, we've even had themes for each window, right? Like, hey, like this is one of the tenets we want to focus on Thursday. This is one of the things we want to focus on Friday or Wednesday or Saturday, and that kind of guides our coverage to an extent. You still have elements of each every day, but you start to hammer home one or the other, because if you do start to catch people along the way and they do go back and look, you get little emphases that like hammer home these people that are new. And if they're just like trying to digest stuff constantly, then they'll get a clear picture with everything that you do in those 4 windows. But especially if it plays back in syndication too, which sometimes it has,
For sure.
like sometimes they'll run it back later on down the line.
Yeah, and there may even be, in the past, they've done post-production shows where they take everything that they shoot live and they boil that down into like 4 or 5 shows that encapsulate the entire competition with some live action and with some storytelling and stuff in there too. So that can be accomplished as well, which is, again, why I am glad I did not give my sort of visceral immediate reaction and had time to sort of think about things a little bit and put it into perspective. Okay, before we get to Boz, let's get to our weekly segment, our dog of the week, as we are partnering up with Barbells for Bullies in the dog days of summer to get some dogs some homes. And this week's dog of the week is Stella. There she is.
Pretty girl.
It's an absolute gorgeous pup. She's a 4-year-old female who's energetic and intelligent, loves kisses. She's a yard guardian, so if you're someone who's got some property, ideal. Knows some commands, is a little bit dog selective, so you want to keep that in mind.
I'm human selective, so.
I am too. Currently located in Columbus, Georgia, at Paws Humane. She is highly intelligent and active. Loves to play and exercise. Of course, don't we all? She is looking for a home with active individuals and no small children or animals, as she has an excellent prey drive. Okay, if Stella looks like a good fit for you, reach out to Paws Humane today. So that's at Paws Humane. You can check them out on Instagram. Or if you're out of the area and you really want to give Stella a chance, get a hold of Barbells for Bullies. Alex and Lindsay do fantastic work. They are willing to, and have in the past, facilitated out of state, out of area adoption. So they are willing to work with you. So either hit them up on their website, barbells4bullies.com, or check them out on Instagram. And hey, if you guys have any dogs out there that, hey, this dog is at the shelter, we need to get it adopted, send it to us and we'll try to make them our dog of the week as we continue to try to do some good here in the summer and find these dogs a home. Let's shuffle through these here. Oh, Renegade Training. Okay, there's the thing. And then, yeah, Barbells for Bullies also doing a community workout. And if you just like Barbells for Bullies and what they do a lot of competitions at local gyms to help benefit local shelters. So if you're a gym that says, hey, we'd like to do something fun, involve our local community here and get some money raised or get some supplies for our local shelter, they will help you do that. They do a thing called Helen for Hounds. They also just will help you, do a local competition that can benefit your local shelter or rescue too. So get a hold of them at Barbells for Bullies or barbellsforbullies.com and check out all our dogs in the week.